Hi there, Machedo. Speaking to you from Machedo.com. Who's Machedo and Think Personal Branding? Today, the date is 5th of January 2018. Time right now is 7:39, and I'm speaking to you from Thailand. For those of you who have just come into my channel who do not know who I am, my name is Machedo. Obviously, you can see Machedo. I've stayed in Dubai for the past 40 years, 40. My parents were there for, I think, 50, 55 years. My family, my friends, everyone else was there in Dubai. And eventually, at a certain point, I decided to move away from Dubai. Now, my expertise is in helping people get jobs. In case you want to know my credentials, you can go down to the description and you'd get my LinkedIn profile where you can see more than 200 people who I've helped. You can also go to Facebook business page and check all the recommendations that are there. I think I've helped around 2,000 plus people get jobs. So that is introduction about me. Now, most important is check the timestamp below. You'll get a timestamp of all the points that I'm speaking to you about. So in case you want to switch over and find out more about the point that is mentioned there, you can quickly move. So the topic, how can I get a job in Dubai, UAE? What you need to understand is if you're trying to get a job in Dubai, UAE, okay, it's not just you. There are so many people who come to Dubai, UAE. I think close to 100,000 people come every single week, okay? And most of the people, they come there, to get a new job, to get away from their country because, the economy is bad there. They heard Dubai is a tax-free environment. Now it's no longer tax-free. They've heard that they can get very good jobs, very good salaries. In fact, if you check in the Asian countries, a college graduate who's just graduated would get substantially much more lower than what you'd get in Dubai because of the currency difference. Okay, the change in the currency. So most of the people come down to Dubai to start their life. Now, that's not a bad thing. However, given the number of people who come there and the number of people who come there through their friends, their relatives, or some people just come there to try their luck, you have an overwhelming number, a supply that is so massive that you cannot even control. Now, keep this in mind that per single day, every single day, HR professionals receive at least 4,000 resumes. So if you're trying to get a job, just keep this in mind. You have 4,000 people who are looking for a job every single position. So you need to stand out from 4,000 people. And if you cannot do that, you will not get a job. Let's move on to how many points did I get here? 13 points on how you can get a job in 2018 in Dubai, UAE. First point, please understand this. Do not, and I repeat, do not go cold calling. There are so many people who, what they do is they go to a really tall building. I've done this. They go to a very tall building, take around 100 CVs, and then go floor to floor, every floor. They'll go to every company, and they'll put their resume with the receptionist. Now, you're not the first one to do this, and you'll not be the last one to do this. Now, just understand this. The receptionist who's sitting there, she gets one guy. Please, can you give this CV? I'm looking for a job. Okay, thank you. Second guy comes, third guy comes. 20, 30 guys come. Okay, she'll take all these resumes. She'll look at the waste paper basket and she'll throw it there. Some of the companies are even more economical. What they'll do is they will flip the CV around and the plain side, which is there, they will reuse this paper to cut down costs. So please keep this in mind that if you go cold calling, your resume will be taken and put in the dustbin. I've not heard of a single person who has gone cold calling and who has been called for a job interview. Cold calling is not going to work. And spamming people with emails is not going to work. Do not spam people. Like you have this email list of 10,000 people in UAE and you'll just single click and it'll go to 10,000 people. No, you'll be marked as a spam and your email will be blacklisted. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I want you to understand that cold calling doesn't work. You're not the first person, and that is why now all these big, large buildings have security guards. They'll ask you, who are you going to meet? Why are you going to meet? And there are cameras in every floor. So if the security guy sees you going from floor to floor, he's going to come there, he's going to throw you out. Don't do that, okay, please. Number one, cold calling is a no-no for 2018. So now point number 2 in getting a job in Dubai, UAE for 2018 is use influence. Now, I've said this repeatedly over and over again in my previous videos also that have been on YouTube, how to get a job in Dubai, UAE. Everywhere in Saudi, Qatar, Bahrain, Oman, all these places, there is one magic word that everyone uses, and it's called Vastaa. Vastaa or influence. Now, if you know somebody, anybody in a company, any one single person, if you know, it can be your brother, your sister, your father, your mother, whoever, or just a friend. If you know that somebody, and that somebody uses, kind of recommends you to somebody else, that itself is influence. Now, if you can go through these channels, you will find at least some information whether there's a vacancy, there is no vacancy, whether you should apply, whom should you apply to, or how you should apply. By influence, I'm not talking of the ultimate decision maker. It's very hard to get in touch with such a person, because if you did know such a person, you would get a job very easily. Now, obviously, you do not know such a person. So if you don't know such a person, go through one person who you know, one single person. Let's say, for example, your friend, okay, Max. You get in touch with Max. You speak to Max. Max, can you introduce me to one person, just one single person who is working in the company? He can be a manager, he can be someone. And from there you build. Max introduces you to 3 people. You speak to 1, 2, and 3. Fine. You tried all those 3. They said, sorry man, I can't help you. From those 3 people, ask them, can you refer me to one other person whom I can use your name and just say, I just want to know if I can get a job, I can't get a job. So you build it in this way. Nothing is going to come to you on a platter. Contact this guy, you'll get a job immediately. It doesn't work that way, man. Because if there was a possibility like that, somebody has already taken advantage. So create and build influence. So that's point number 2. Now, point number 3, obviously, for getting a job in Dubai, UAE for 2018 is, the fact is you don't have influence. So what do you do? Because this is the one question everyone says, "Oh, I don't have influence. What do I do?" Very simple. Point number 3 is use your influence. Now, what do I mean by use your influence? Now, when I was unemployed and penniless on the streets of Mumbai, I had to survive. And this is 2011, mind you, 2011. That's hardly, I think, 7 years ago. So when I was penniless, and when you don't have any money in Dubai, UAE, or any part of the world, nobody wants to see your face. Nobody wants to deal with you. Nobody wants to be your friend. So I was, completely penniless in Dubai, UAE. I didn't know what to do. So how would I survive? So that is where I used a very simple strategy. What did I do? I used my influence. What do I mean by my influence? What I started to do is I would go in a shopping mall. I would see somebody selling some, let's say, perfume. Let's say city center, they're selling a perfume or something. I'm not saying go and talk to a very attractive girl. Never talk to an attractive girl. Never helps. Talk to the one who's not attractive. Remember this, people are not attractive. Many people don't go to them. If, normally a person who looks very grumpy, big, huge, and, very ugly face, nobody wants to talk to them. Go and talk to those people and speak to them. In fact, you'd not believe this, but the receptionist in a company, the receptionist has the maximum influence. The security guard knows the maximum number of people. You need to use your common sense, your intellect, your street smart attitude to survive, to get to these people and ask them what should be done. In fact, let me tell you this, through a security guard, I came to know what time the manager comes. Through a receptionist, I found out who's the right person to deal with. Through even the office boy, he gave me the clue, this is the person you should be, in touch with. In fact, I even bribed the office boy, but be careful, you need to be smart. I bribed the office boy to make sure that my CV was kept on the desk of the decision maker. You need to do whatever it takes to survive. So using your influence or being street smart is what will help you survive. Remember, going through these normal channels like everyone else is not going to help you. If everyone's standing in a line and you're also standing in a line with your resume, one of the people ahead of you would, normally get considered for the job. So if you want to succeed and survive, you need to play the game. You need to use your influence. You need to use common sense. You need to use street smart to survive. So that's point number 3. Now, point number 4 is my favorite. It's called hustling. Now, what is hustling? You're such a hardcore seller that you can literally sell even, like they say, ice to an Eskimo. The best example I can use, on the streets of Mumbai, in India, it's like a cutthroat place where you cannot survive if you're a nice guy. So, for example, you're driving the car and you stop the car near the signal. automatically a guy comes in and he starts cleaning your windshield, and even though you didn't ask him anything, and then he comes to you and says, sir, I cleaned your windshield, just give me one coin, anything, just give me one. And then if you say no, he says, sir, I have a family, just give me one coin, I at least kept it nice, please, you have nothing to lose, one coin. So he's hustling, he's doing whatever it takes to survive, to get that one coin. In fact, the best hustler who I found was one small boy on the streets of Mumbai many years ago. The boy was selling watermelon, watermelon. So I saw the guy, and I didn't think much. And then he came and told me, have a watermelon, just have one. So I was like, okay, fine, I have one. And when I took one, he said, don't be so stingy. Your friends are there. Just buy one for your friends. Your friends will be happy, and you'll make me also happy. So I was like, okay, fine, smart kid. And I bought one for me and one for a couple of my friends. And then he said, how about buying just one more? Come on. I'm not saying anything else, but it'll take care of my lunch. So I was about to say no. But when he said for my lunch, I was like, what the hell? Okay, I took it. Fine. This guy, he didn't stop there. I'm serious. He didn't stop there. All of a sudden, at the end, he said, sir, did you enjoy your watermelon? I said, well, it's okay. It's not bad. He's saying, how about giving me a tip? Just imagine a small boy who not only made me buy one watermelon, then he gave another piece to my friend, then he made me buy an extra, and now finally he's asking me for a tip. Now that is called hustling. Okay, that is called hustling. So what you need to think and keep in mind is, you need to be that kind of survivor that, when you're going to give a resume, don't just go, sir, my resume. Do something creative, man. I'll tell you this you may not believe. But I literally, when I wanted the job in Citibank, this is when I was 20 years old, what I literally did was, I found out from the sales director, I found out the names of all these guys. I found out the name of the regional manager, the regional head of Citibank, Raja Manar, his name was. And I found out where he was hanging out and where he was going. I literally followed him. I know it's stalking. But then I found out that he was registering for a course. Don't ask me how. I came to know he was registering for a course on peak performance. I literally borrowed money for that course. I went into that course. He didn't know who I was. And I was sitting next to him throughout the course, talking to him, making him like me. And eventually, I kind of told him, I'm applying for Citibank. And he said, oh, you're applying for Citibank. For what position? And I told him what position. And he got me a job even without me going for an interview. So what I'm trying to tell you is, you need to be a hustler, man. You need to be a hustler. Do whatever it takes to survive. And if you can do that, you will survive. Okay? Now, point number 5. Let me go to point number, how can I get a job in Dubai for 2018, is ensure your resume ready. Now, I'm pretty sure that your resume is the best of what you could possibly have done. You have made sure your objectives are stated there. Nobody cares about your objectives. Newsflash. You put your name right in the center, you put your email, your telephone number, your designation. I am 8 years experienced, I'm 20 years experienced, and whatever, jazzy stuff. You put all the rest of the stuff, you put your education, your experience, you worked as this. And then you put some unnecessary details. I know Microsoft Word. I have a driving license. I'm married. I'm single. I'm in fact, some of the weird ones is I'm 5 feet 6 inches tall. I don't know why someone would put that. Anyway, they put their religion. And then the most outrageously stupid statement some of them put is, I hereby certify all the information on this resume is true to my knowledge, and they put their signature there, which nobody cares. So anyway, you have made your resume the best of what you could possibly have done. You have copied other people's resume. You have copy-pasted other people's words. You have looked at other people. Wow, this resume is good. I'll copy this. I'll copy this color. I'll copy this word. I'll copy this jargon. I'll make this smart-sounding statement. Yeah, fine. You have worked hard to make your resume. But the fact is, you are only looking at your resume. The guy who is checking resumes, he checks around thousands of resumes every single day. The guy, the HR guy, the HR coordinator has seen every possible resume, every possible format, color, template, design, whatever. You might think your resume is, wow, outstanding, but these guys see it every single day. I see resumes every single day. I get more than 10 resumes per day, So what I'm trying to make you understand is, you may think your resume is amazing. The fact of the matter is, the guy who's checking your resume will not. So if you're going to apply for a job, please ensure your resume is absolutely perfect. And for that, my dear friend, you need to approach a professional. Don't go to a company that says we make resumes, because the guy who is sitting there who takes your money, he's just getting paid lesser than what you're getting paid. He'll put it in a computer, put in some tags, and he'll give you a printout. You need to sit with someone who is an industry professional, someone like myself. I'm not saying come to me, go to anybody else if you want, but sit down with them and customize this from scratch. Each and every word, sentence, line, everything else should be customized. That is why a professional resume, a creator would not be cheap. Don't go to these websites like Fiverr, for $5, $10, $40. You need to sit down with the guy. You need to have a conversation with him. And come on, it's not just, okay, which industry do you want? I'll just copy, paste the words that are there and put it. No, it doesn't work out that way. So I hope you get that clear. Ensure that your resume is ready and go to a professional. People spend a lot more money and attention into their marriage, which is for one day, than for their career, which is forever. So please keep that in mind. Point number six, yeah. Please, never ever do this on a resume, which I always tell people, never do this. Some of the things you should not do is, one is oversell yourself. Oh, I achieved 200% of this target. I was so good, because if you keep your standards so high, then you'll have to, cross this. And if you oversell yourself, that is the most easiest way to get terminated, and that is even worse. Please don't oversell yourself. Please don't undersell yourself. And please don't think that you can make someone a fool. Don't do that. Don't oversell yourself. Don't undersell yourself, because you undersell, you'll not get called. Oversell, it's like you're shooting yourself in the head or on the foot. And please, if you copy someone else's resume, it will show. I'm telling you this, it will show. So please never do this on your resume. Point number 7 of getting a job in Dubai, UAE is sharpen your interview skills. Now, almost every Tom, Dick and Harry who I've spoken to on interview skills, because I charge them a lot more money for interview skills, when I ask them, are you interview ready? Yeah, of course. Well, yeah, I speak to anyone, I'll get a job. Here's the thing. People assume that the interview is different from communication. Interview is nothing but communication. If you can talk to someone on the street and sell yourself, means your interview skills are great. Interview skills is nothing but you selling yourself. Remember, the purpose of a resume is to get called for the interview, not get called for the job, get called for the interview. And the purpose of the interview is for you to sell yourself. Now, you might assume that you are amazing at interviews. Newsflash, if you're amazing at interviews, you would be able to sell anything to anyone at any point of time, and you would be in demand even without the interviews. The people who are the best at interviews are the ones who have the gift of the gab. So if you really want to ace an interview, keep this in mind. Number 1, the guy who's conducting the interview has heard all kinds of answers on the planet. So nothing what you'd say would impress him. That is number 1. Number 2 is, if you want to stand out, you need to practice a script. You need to write on word for word what you're going to say. Number 3 is, it takes word editing and it takes a wordsmith. If you have not heard that, Google and find out what is a wordsmith. Every word that you put there, every sentence, every paragraph has to go in a climax. And that is how you practice for an interview. When you have an interview, it's a conversation that you're having. The guy knows you're trying to sell yourself, and you're doing your best to impress the guy. The guy can see through all this. So how do you conduct, or how do you execute an interview is, every answer that you give has to be very unique, has to be very different, has to be measurable, has to be sellable, and has to represent you as a brand. Keep this in mind. So each and every answer should be thought of. If you Google Lloyd Machedo's questions for interviews, you'll get, I think, a list of 81 questions that are formulated which people ask. Now, it's normally within these questions. In fact, the most overused question is, tell me something about yourself. And the reason they ask you this is because the guy just wants to flip through your CV, wants you to get warmed up, wants you to tell him some facts so he can start the conversation. And if you can't answer, tell me something about yourself, and you give something stupid like, I was born in India, Pondicherry, and I went to school in Kerala, Ernakulam, and then I went to college in Madhya Pradesh, and now I'm doing a degree from UK, United Kerala, UK, London. I'm doing it through correspondence, what do you want the guy to say? What do you want the guy to get impressed? Wow, 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 I never heard of this. Wow, fantastic. Please prepare yourself for an interview. Otherwise, it's a waste of time. You'll not get a second chance. Point number 8 is positioning. If you read or if you have read the book by Al Rice, positioning, the challenge for the mind, or something like that, yeah. And if you have read Tom Peters' work on personal branding, you would know that in order for you to stand out, you need to represent yourself in a rather unique way, from the color to the slogan to the way of speaking to the way of working to the appearance to the mannerism, the experience, the feel. Everything should be unique. For example, I tell people, you saw my face, you'll never forget it. Now they say, yeah, of course. But then people say, oh, Lloyd, but you're tattooed. I can't tattoo my face. If I tattoo my nose, I'll look like a dog. I'm not saying tattoo your face. What I'm telling you is, think of ways and means you can stand out. You should be unique. Now, all of you have a unique signature. All of you do look different. But you need to enhance the image. People do this on social media, Facebook. You see girls they always show themselves through a filter. They always show them looking sexy and nice. Guys try to show themselves, oh, I'm cool with a hairstyle and being with his friends in a club and all. So you're positioning yourself. You're doing that. So you need to do the same when it comes to the corporate world. And if you want to know how to do it, not just your appearance by wearing an Armani suit or a pink tie, you need to do it every way possible. And for that, you need to sit with your mentor, which is very important. If you don't sit with your mentor, you don't have a strategy. Next point number 9. Now, this point is pretty controversial. You may not necessarily like this point. But the fact is, everybody who applies for a job in Dubai, UAE, or any part of the world, anyone and everyone, almost every guy that I've known, every girl that I've known, they tell lies on their resume. All of them tell lies. Like, for example, a guy has worked 5 years. He sees a job position for 7 years experience. He will enhance from 5 years, he'll put it 7 years. A girl, let's say, for example, a lady, she had only 2 people in her team. She'll say, I had 7 people in my team. A guy achieved, let's say, 100,000 as his target. He'll say, I achieved 250 or $300,000. So everyone lies on their CV. Now, I don't recommend you lying, but I recommend you being creative in the way you tell the truth. Now, the fact is, you can't tell the truth. What do I mean by this? Let's say you got terminated by your previous employer because you were lazy. Do you think anybody on this planet is going to put on his resume, yeah, I got terminated because I was lazy? Or let's say, for example, somebody likes to waste their time and they're distracted with Facebook and social media. Do you think they're going to put, I get distracted on social media? In fact, I've never met anyone who has told the truth on their resume. All of them bullshit, all of them tell lies. So if everyone's telling lies, you might as well tell a lie. But how do you tell a lie? You need to be smart. Once again, you need to sit down with somebody who can help you formulate. Now, if not your mentor, sit down with a decision maker, sit down with somebody in your family who's really well-versed, and he'll tell you where you can lie, manipulate, and play around so that your resume stands out. I'm sorry, but this is the reality. You want to hear the truth, I'm telling you the truth. You might not like what I have to say. If you're a CEO, obviously you don't have to lie because you're up there. If you're a director, you don't have to lie because you're up there. But if you're middle class, with the majority of people, being like savages for a job, well, welcome to the real world, man. Because keep this in mind. You'll tell the truth, 100 people will tell the lie. The guy who tells a lie always gets a job. That's why an ass kisser gets a promotion. The people who play politics get promoted. And the guy who knows who's who in the company always gets considered for the better position. So if you're thinking of telling lies, wish you all the best. Pray to God. Whatever. Hope it works. Point number 10. Now, this one normally people don't think about. Point number 10. For getting a job in Dubai, UAE. Now, you'd see people, making sure that their LinkedIn profile is very professional, their CV is very professional, they look professional, but then they forget a very important thing. They don't check their social media. In fact, one of the guys whom I helped get a job in this company, it was an engineering company, I told him, make sure that your social media is clean. This bugger, he forgot that he put a controversial post forward, that you get these videos. Put a controversial post about a guy who was dressed up like a girl and, swagging. And so he had put, check out that ass or something like that. They checked the social media post and, they said later on, they just sent him a letter. we found your social media presence in violation of our company policies. In fact, airline staff have lost their jobs because they put a photograph of them being in clubs with different guys and girls kissing each other. They lost their job. This is the reality. I know that companies are not supposed to check your personal life, but it's interwoven. So please check your social media status. If you have put anything that is violating a company's policies, like let's say for example you're speaking against a particular nationality or against a particular person, or you're doing something, or even a photograph of you kissing someone can result in you losing your job. So check your social media presence. You're positioning yourself as professional on LinkedIn, you might as well be the same on social media, or make sure that it is hidden and nobody can see it. So keep this in mind. Point number 10. Point number 11 is the second most powerful skill in getting a job in Dubai, UAE. And that second most powerful skill is the art of communication. Now, by communication, it is both by speaking as well as writing. And writing is the first, the base, the foundation. The second one is speaking. If you're a good writer, you can use the content that you are to be a better speaker. However, you must sharpen your public speaking skills, because when you speak, how you speak and what you say will matter. But remember, more than what you say, it's how you said it. That is where if you actually see Donald Trump, and if you actually see Obama, if you see any of the politicians, it's the way they say it, the body language, the mannerism, the eye movement, the expressions, the posture. All these things come into play when you're actually looking out for a job. So keep in mind written communication as well as spoken communication. Point number 12 in getting a job in Dubai, UAE, the most powerful skill of them all, without a fragment of doubt, the most important skill is being likable. I spoke to this particular gentleman who was looking for a job as a sales and marketing guy. Really aggressive, amazingly smart, I mean, incredible. But then I was wondering, why wasn't he getting a job? His resume was spectacular. I mean, he had awards after awards in different companies. And then I started to speak to him, and in less than a few minutes, I figured it out. He was absolutely irritating. I mean, he was defensive. He was a moron, an absolute moron. He was defensive. He had an attitude. He felt like he knew everything. I mean, if you're not likable, you'll not get a job. That is why you might not like when I say this, but physical appearance matters a lot. You need to be attractive. Whether you like it or not, you have to be attractive. If you're not attractive, then have the charm, have the capacity that when you speak to someone, they love you within seconds. So you need to have that. And if that is not possible, then at least have ways and means where you can have a first good impression, or the person feels a soft corner for you. Okay, how you play the game is up to you. But remember, the most powerful skill of them all is to be likable. People who are likable are normally offered the job even if they don't have the expertise, and the management or the decision maker kind of lends his support to ensure that skills are taught. And finally, point number 13, please get yourself a mentor. Now, I know you might say, oh, why is saying this? Because he wants to sell his services. Fine, fuck you, don't come to me, go to somebody else. I don't give a damn. I'm telling you upfront, you don't need to come to me. Thank you very much, go to somebody else. But then the question here is, who do you go to? Go to someone who is really good. Go to someone who is really powerful. Go to someone who is incredible, who will help you succeed. Because at the end of the day, you can waste all the time in the world, keep trying and trying and trying, but you'll eventually burn out. You'll eventually waste your time. There is an opportunity cost. There is a reason why we professionals exist. You may not like it, but this is a fact. I made this mistake many times in my life, even when I was trying to lose weight, even when I was trying to be faster in sports, even when I was trying to achieve success. I thought with my Indian brain that, okay, fine, I'll try to save the cost. I will, try to figure it out by myself. But there's nothing like having a world-class mentor who has all the experience, who can guide you to achieve success the fastest. You may not like this, but this is a fact. If Usain Bolt needs a coach, if top actors need a coach, if top politicians need a mentor, forget politicians, anybody and everybody who wants to achieve success has a teacher. Okay, as someone who tells them this is what you need to do and this is what you should not do, then what about you, my friend? So I hope these points really help you achieve success, because at the end of the day, everyone wants to achieve success, but very few people do. I hope these points really help you. This is Lloyd from Machedo.com. Don't forget, if you want to get in touch with me, my email and contact details are down below. And if you want my professional service, go to my website, that is Think Personal Branding, for one-to-one sessions if you want your resume or whatever to be evaluated. So, live from Machedo.com. Who's Machedo and Think Personal Branding? Answering the question on Quora, that is, how to get a job in Dubai, UAE in 2018. Hope this answers your question. This is me saying goodbye for now. Take care.